first and goal.
Hey guys, what is up? It's your boy Chef Dinner here, back with another video. Now, probably wondering why are you uploading a video here a little bit on a Friday. So there's gonna be some changes in the YouTube channel. Now, I'm gonna kind of change the channel a bit. Now, there's still gonna be gaming, still gonna be sports, but sports is gonna be more featured. So the sports talk is now gonna be a recurring series every Friday. Since, you know, I didn't want to do every couple weekends sports talk, because so much sports was going to build up, so much news, especially with all the sports coming back, MLB's coming back, NHL's coming back, NBA's coming back, NFL season's right around the corner. So, with all this new sports news, all the season stuff coming back, you know, I decided to, you know, do it every Friday. So now we get 3 videos, one every Friday, and then one on Saturday, one on Sunday. And Saturday and Sunday will be strictly reserved just for gaming. So no sports will be on that. So weekends, just gaming. But on every Friday, you will get a new sports talk video. That's really it. That's really what I wanted to change the channel to. Nothing really else major. I just wanted to have sports, another kind of bigger feature on the channel. So let's just go right into sports news. I am wearing, as my jersey today, my white number 7 Ben Roethlisberger jersey. Got the Steelers patch right here, with my Pirate shirt under it. So let's just get right into it. Let's start off with NFL news. Now, there's not a lot of NFL news. I'm just kind of preparing for the season, but there are some. Now, the biggest NFL news, actually probably the biggest sports news that has happened, is that the Patrick Mahomes, who I had in the opening clip, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, has signed over a $503 billion deal, or not $1 million deal, which is $500 million. Over more than $500 million to go play a 12-year contract with the Chiefs. Now, this is very big. It broke the richest sports contract of all time, which was held by Mike Trout, who had, I think, $112 million with a 12-year deal with the Angels. And he is a pretty good quarterback now. He was Super Bowl MVP, won the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, defeating the 49ers. Had a pretty good season before but before this past season, before he won the Super Bowl. And I'm surprised they gave him this much money to play this much, you know. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, probably top 3 quarterback, maybe number 1 top quarterback right now. But it's going to be really, really, really interesting to see these next couple years, because he could be one of the worst quarterbacks in the sport the next couple years. He could be one of the best quarterbacks of all time, you know. So he's getting paid like $50 million a year, you know. He's getting paid tons of money to play 16 games for each team, you know. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the Chiefs and how Mahomes, how he's going to play. I personally don't think he deserved this much money, considering what he's done. I think that they should have waited a couple years, maybe like 1 or 2, and maybe got him, but I don't think he should have been paid this much money. That's just me. I think he does not deserve at what he's I know he's one of the best quarterbacks, but he's not deserved $500 million. That's just me. Another NFL news, the Patriots officially confirmed that they did sign Cam Newton as their new quarterback. As you know, their best quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. In my opinion, the best quarterback of all time. He is now on the Buccaneers. He is now there with Rob Gronkowski, former teammate. It's going to be very interesting what he does with the Buccaneers this season. And the Patriots need a new quarterback, so they went ahead and signed former Panthers quarterback Cam Newton. We know Cam Newton didn't play last year, or he only played like 1 or 2 games. Had about, I think it was a shoulder or like collarbone injury. He had a really good 2015 season, if you remember that. So it's going to be very interesting if he's bad this year, maybe he's good. I'm part of a Jets fan, and I'm not really that worried. I think, you know, he's not in his prime anymore, but I honestly think that, you know, if the Patriots will still probably win the division, they're still going to be a top team. But it's going to be very interesting to see how Brady works in a new environment, how Newton works in a new environment, how the whole teams in general work without Brady, because Brady was the centerpiece for this for like 18 years, you know. So it's going to be really, 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 really interesting. I know I said that a lot, but I mean, everything's going to be really interesting now, having these new quarterbacks, new teams, and these new environments that everyone's going to be in. Now, another thing in NFL news, the preseason got cut in half. So the preseason got cut in half due to the coronavirus pandemic. It will be very interesting to see if they have fans or not, which they probably won't, considering NBA, NHL, and we will not have fans at their games. So that is really it in the NFL news. Let's move it on to the NBA. The NBA's got a couple bit of news. Number one, probably the biggest, is all the teams and players are starting to go to Orlando and the bubbles. So they're all in the worldwide Disney Sport, ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Orlando, Florida, and Disney World. Um, they're all there in certain hotels. So they get the better hotels, right? But seeing so like the Lakers, the Bucks, and the Clippers are in like the best hotel, while the we're not like the best hotel in Disney World, the best hotel that they're staying in, and the hotel at like the lower teams like the Kings, the Blazers, the the Wizards that they're staying at. It's not a bad hotel. It's a nice hotel, but it's not as good as the ones like the Lakers and stuff are staying at. I know many players have complained about some of the food they're getting in the NBA, since you're not allowed to leave the bubble. They're complaining about the food that they're getting, saying that it isn't good or looks gross, or they're cheaping out on the food, or they're complaining but the room sucks. I think the rooms look nice. I think the food looks okay. I mean, it's not. That's my personal opinion, but I know some NBA players. I think it's like I know like I saw like LeBron James had like tacos and like Kyle Kuzma had sushi. The Lakers players looks at these really good food. Like I think it was like the Magic how like this food the NBA gave them, which they said it didn't look good. I mean, I thought it was fine. I thought meat was okay. I didn't think it was that bad. So you know, yeah, but man, I don't know. I mean, they're in Disney World. I just went to Disney World back in January. There's some great restaurants there. There's some great food there, especially in those hotels they're staying at. There's some great restaurants in there. Well, I mean, they just can't cook them food from there. I don't know if that's like allowed or not, but I mean, I don't know. But they are in the bubbles right now. The NBA, they start playing their first scrimmage games, I think on July 22nd, which is the same day or the day before the MLB comes back. But the official new playoff or finishing the season and the playoffs officially start July 31st. I believe the first game is the Lakers and the Clippers. I think that's what the first game is. Very excited to see what that first game is. Another thing is that we have a second bubble. They're considering a second bubble in Chicago for the teams who didn't get invited. So that is I have it right here. Charlotte Hornets, the Chicago Bulls, Golden State Warriors, Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, Detroit Pistons, Atlanta Hawks, and the Minnesota Timberwolves. I personally think this is a very, very, very just terrible decision. Let's think about it. You have in Orlando the good teams, the 70-win, 60-win teams. You have Lakers, Bucks, Clippers, Toronto Raptors, Celtics, 76ers. Great teams. Would you rather watch the Lakers and the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals battling to make the finals, or would you rather watch an exposition game between the Knicks and the Pistons? You're going to watch LeBron and Kawhi Leonard, So, I get it, for fans of those teams who want to see them finish the season, they can get some good practice and they missed out on, but, you'd rather watch, LeBron or Kawhi or, or Serge Ibaka, you'd rather watch these players than watch, these lower seed teams. Everyone wants, if the Lakers are on and the Knicks are on TV, everyone's going to watch the Lakers game. No one's going to watch the Knicks game. You watch the Knicks game if you want to see bad basketball, okay? That's my opinion. In NBA, many players, like I mentioned in my last sports talker, opting out of the restart. Notable names include Victor Oladipo. Sorry if I butchered his name right. Indiana Pacers center opted out of the season because he wants to heal up his, I think it was an ACL or tricep injury he suffered. He did play, I think, a couple games last season when he came back. I remember when he did come back to play. But he will sit out the restart. And Bradley Beal, one of the best players on the Wizards, maybe the Wizards' best player, is opting out of the season due to health concerns. The Wizards are now the Wizards are the worst team going into the Orlando bubble. They have 24 wins this season. They're not going to make the finals. If they do, it'll be like a miracle. It'll be like a weird thing if they do. But I really, 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 really don't think that they'll make the finals. If they do, it will be a shocker. But now that their best player is gone, I mean, they're just going to play a couple of games and then be out of there. Other than that, that is the news for the NBA. Let's move it on to the MLB. Now, the MLB has some news. Going into it, we have some minor news, like the MLB canceled the 2020 All-Star Game in the Dodger Stadium. Of course, they can't have any of the festivities due to the pandemic, but the Dodgers will host the 2022 All-Star Game, as the 2021 All-Star Game is hosted by the Atlanta Braves. Multiple players have caught the virus in the MLB. Notable names include first baseman Freddie Freeman, catcher Salvador Perez, A's pitcher Jesus Luzardo, I don't even know. I can't even name it off my head. But Will Smith of the Atlanta Braves, their pitcher, got the virus, and many other names have. And almost players are opting out. Felix Hernandez is opting out. Buster Posey and Mike Trout, the best player in the MLB, said he might opt out. So it's very, very interesting. But the season does start. They revealed the schedules for all 30 teams. This first MLB game is on July 23rd, 7:08 on ESPN. The Yankees will go one-on-one with the current World Series champs, the Dodgers, followed by at 10 o'clock at night, we're here in Eastern Standard Time. The Dodgers take on the Giants. We see Mookie's first game in a Dodgers uniform. Garrett Cole's first game in a Yankees uniform. I'm very hyped. I'm an MLB guy. I'm excited. It's going to be great. Now, another thing in MLB news, which I'm also going to tie in with NFL news. Washington Redskins and the Cleveland Indians are changing their names. Now, you probably know there's been a major Black Lives Matter movement, once again, a resurgence due to the death of George Floyd, the death of Breonna Taylor, and many other injustice which has been going on in the world right now. So there's been a right to change many things, including the Aunt Jemima logo, the Mrs. Butterworth bottle, many things that have a racist backstory to it. We want to get rid of that. We want to abolish that in the world. We don't want, I'm speaking here, we don't want, racism in the world. We need to, abolish this. We need to make sure that not only that all lives matter, including Black lives matter. So we need to make sure it's all equal. And that means changing Washington Redskins' name. The Redskins and the Indians have that backstory with the Native Americans that they want to get rid of. So they are looking at changing their name. I've heard many great suggestions for the Redskins' new name, like the Generals and the Red Tails, many others. I've heard many great names for the Indians, like the Spiders, then Capitals, which makes no sense to me, but I just heard that. But if you are going to change the name Washington, I want to put this: don't make your colors red, white, and blue, because you get the Nationals red, white, and blue, the Capitals red, white, and blue, the Wizards red, white, and blue. Don't change it. Just come on. Don't please. Keep the colors, change the name, change why, making sure it fits the city of Washington, D.C., make sure it really fits that area. Same with Cleveland, make sure it fits the area of Cleveland, make sure it fits a good backstory. And I'm really excited. The Redskins said they want to have a new name, a new rebranding by the new season. I'm really excited to see what the new changes are. And I don't know, I'm just really excited. Let's move on to NHL news. Now, NHL news, they did finalize the return to action plan. The hub cities are Toronto and Edmonton, like I mentioned. I think the Eastern Conference is going to Toronto and the Western Conference is going to Edmonton. I think I have that right. It might be flip-flop. But it's going to be very interesting to see. They played their qualifying round games on August 1st, my birthday. So we're going to see who that number one draft pick is. We get to see who makes the Stanley Cup playoffs. Let's go Penguins. But I am slightly excited. Not really big an NHL guy, but hopefully the Penguins make it. Penguins in the playoffs. Get to see some Penguins hockey. It's good to have some good sports back on. But I'm going to include... Now, this isn't really... Now, a lot of people debate this is a sport. Now, now they call it sports entertainment, but, I mean, there'd really be no point for me to talk to it on my channel, so I'm just going to put another passion of mine, which is WWE wrestling. I've loved WWE since I was a kid. I remember watching WWE when I was a kid. I remember going to SmackDown. I remember going to Raw. I remember seeing John Cena as a kid. I remember meeting some WWE wrestlers as a kid. I remember Kane and The New Day. So I'm going to talk about WWE. WWE has their upcoming pay-per-view, the Extreme Rules, the Horror Show, which is like why would you include that? Some very good matches up there. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler go one-on-one for McIntyre's WWE title. Now, Dolph Ziggler gets to choose stipulation in Extreme Rules. Now, he says he's going to choose something the WWE Universe has never, ever seen before. Now, it's probably going to be a stupid, gimmicky stipulation that everyone's going to hate and that it's going to be dogged on by everyone else. And it's going to be terrible. I know it is. WWE's going to screw it up. I'm just going to start watching All Elite Wrestling. I watched some of it, but not a lot. I mean, I'm just going to give up at this point. Other matches include Asuka and Sasha Banks go one-on-one for the Raw Women's title. Bayley and Nikki Cross go one-on-one with the SmackDown Women's title. But when are they going to start the Bayley-Sasha Banks feud? They've teased it for years. When are they going to come to fruition? Now they're women tag team champions, and Sasha wants to become a double champion like Bayley, so she's going to challenge for Asuka's Raw Women's title. Here's what's going to happen. Now, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss take Bayley and Sasha on tonight on Friday Night SmackDown in a non-title match. What's going to happen is that they're going to go one-on-one at some point for the titles and lose the titles to probably either the Kabuki Warriors or Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Probably not the Iconics. I don't know what the Iconics are doing with their weird feud with Natalia and whatever. I don't know what they're doing there. So they're going to drop the titles. Now, what's probably going to happen is that either Sasha will be like barely, like she'll almost have the title won and then be screwed over by Bayley, or Sasha's going to screw over Bayley for her title and give it to Nikki Cross. I don't see that happening. I don't see Nikki Cross winning the title with Extreme Rules. So it's probably going to go to Sasha Banks' route. Sasha Banks will definitely become the face, and Bayley will definitely become the villain. That's just how it's going to be. You know? That's what I personally think it's going to be. They're either going to perfectly execute this feud or just butcher it completely. But mainly butcher it completely because WWE. So yeah, we got some other feuds going on. We have the Braun Strowman Bray Wyatt thing that's going on. Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman go in that Wyatt Swamp Fight cinematic match. Some of the cinematic matches are pretty good. The Undertaker AJ Styles Boneyard match is really good. The Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano NXT, I think that was a cinematic match. That was really good. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out. Can't remember some others. The Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena and The Fiend Bray Wyatt was pretty good. The Money in the Bank ladder match, I love that. The whole they were going at the same time. That was a really fun one. I love to watch that one. That's gonna be very interesting to see that feud go on because we're definitely gonna see at SummerSlam The Fiend and Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman for the titles. They're definitely gonna go one-on-one, and that's just gonna happen. We're definitely gonna see that. We have MVP taking on Public Cruz for the newly designed U.S. title. I don't really like the design that much. I think it's okay, but I do prefer the old one. But gotta roll with the times. We're there keep seeing this AJ Styles Daniel Bryan feud for the Intercontinental title, which will probably be the last match announced. We have to talk about and then we have a Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins eye for an eye match. You have to win by pulling your opponent's eye out. I don't even know what's going on at this point. I heard it. I'm not even watching the match. It makes my eyes hurt just hearing it. So we have Extreme Rules coming up. We even have some NXT coming up stuff with Keith Lee winning the North American Intercontinental North American Championship and the NXT World Championship. Karen Cross is looking on. Adam Cole will probably have the challenge for his title again. And then, Karen Cross wants that title, so I'm excited. I wonder what's going to happen in the North American title. Who's going to win that? Probably, they're probably going to put that with the Johnny Gargano feud. I don't know. Maybe Drake Maverick can win that now that he's in NXT. So it's gonna be very interesting. NXT, in my opinion, I like it a little bit more than what's on the main roster. But the main roster does have some potential with feuds coming up. The New Day and the New Day defend their SmackDown against Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro tonight. So we got something to look forward to tonight. That's really it for sports news in general. You have some stuff to look forward to. But I always keep track on my phone here, all of the sports news that I've written down to keep track of everything. But that is it for sports news today. Sports Talk. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys tomorrow with gaming.